All right.
Finally.
Best directing.
Oh, right.
And then we still have Best Picture.
I'm just jumping
Best
ahead,
directing,
guys.
we've got American Hustle, David O. Russell. We've got Gravity, Alfonso Cuarón. Nebraska, Alexander Payne. 12 Years a Slave, Steve McQueen. And The Wolf of Wall Street, Martin Scorsese.
I feel like since they've already given Marty his one, they won't, they're good there. I think everyone's just in love with David O. Russell and American Hustle right now, and the man can do no wrong.
Does anyone else have any comments before I jump in there? Are you all voting for American Hustle with Phil?
No, I'm not. I mean, I don't have one that I want to win. I don't really. None of them are a standout for me, and I have no idea who the Academy will pick. But I think. Well, I guess I would go with you on that because I think the Academy will go for that. It's not something I would agree with, but.
I think that I agree. I think they're going to pick David O. Russell. Who I'd prefer them pick is probably Steve McQueen. I'd prefer. Maybe that's because I did like 12 Years a Slave, and I do want them to win. I think that one of the reasons I liked it was how it was directed. So I'll give it to him.
I think it's Alfonso Cuarón and Alfonso Cuarón. I think that, again, as I stated, he's given audiences something that we've never seen before. He didn't get his due for movies like Children of Men. He elevated cinema, commercial cinema, and he brought people out. And again, just for the pure fact and how he filmed this movie, it's going to Alfonso Cuarón.
Okay, interesting.
Now, finally? No? Oh, yeah. Marisa, did you tell us?
I agree with Steve McQueen. I think he should win, but also Alfonso, that Gravity was definitely out of this world, and it'd be nice to literally it'd be nice to see Alfonso win it for defying all those feats that he was able to accomplish in that movie.
And finally,
oh my God, how many we got here?
Well, we've got 9 for Best Picture. We're
out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Memories prepared.
All right, so we have American Hustle, we have Captain Phillips, we have the Dallas Buyers Club, we have Gravity, we have Her, we have Nebraska, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Wow.
Woo! Everyone take a breath.
I mean,
Get
this
ready.
was an incredible year. I mean, when people look back at 2013 as far as movies go for both commercial and prestige films, 2014 has a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of good ones in there. I enjoyed pretty much all of them. I don't think I can name one. They're all deserving, but I think American Hustle. It's just, I can't, I'm sorry. It's just on this groovy train that's just not stopping until Oscars.
Nah.
They're over.
I guess I jumped off this train already.
I don't think you ever were on the train. I don't think you got your ticket.
I bought a ticket. I definitely bought a ticket.
Just
she
the
couldn't
wrong
get
station.
out soon enough.
That's not true. It's good.
So who would you like to win?
Are you pointing this at me?
Well, yes, because you're the one disputing.
Oh, is everyone on board for American Hustle winning?
No, but you're the one disputing most.
I'll just say it since she's not jumping in. I'll say that they're going to give it to Gravity.
Interesting.
I'll say that I do like most of these movies a lot. I love 12 Years a Slave. I love Philomena. But when you read that list to me again, my gut just jumped out at Dallas Buyers Club, which was very strange because I wasn't predicting to say that, and that's not where my opinion's been. But when I re-listened to that list, it was just sticking out in my head, so I have to say it.
I am going to, well, as I've said ever since we did our original podcast, Gravity is the one that I'd like to see. Although this year I think we're going to see one of those years where Best Picture and Directing don't match up. I do think it'll end up going to American Hustle, but I think that it should go, I feel in my heart, and I'd like it to go to Gravity for everything that I've said past. Just, it was the best picture. It brought people out to the movies en masse. It showed us something that 3D can work. It looked beautiful, and people loved it, and I thought it was a technological feat for what they pulled off.
Fair enough.
Can we go over overall reactions?
I agree because Gravity was so outstanding in the way that they portrayed everything and executed, and even it's back in theaters now because it was such a big movie, and it really did put audience in the theaters. And I would love to see Gravity win, but I would also love to see 12 Years a Slave for depicting such a true story. It'd be nice if they got recognition in that way.
That's really your movie this year.
It is. I really think it should win.
It's the white man guilt in her. I went there.
It totally is.
All right, let's talk about. I mean, we didn't talk about Saving Mr. Banks. No, one of the best movies for me.
Yeah.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Was it a great movie? Perhaps not, but it was a cute movie.
Yeah, I'm not so disappointed in Secret Life of Walter Mitty as much as that I enjoyed it. Saving Mr. Banks, to me, was a slight. I think that it was a great movie. Emma Thompson not getting actress. No, I'm about to say something that I guess people might think like controversial. Enough with Meryl Streep. I mean, she's a great actress, but they didn't have to vote her in this time. Emma Thompson's performance in Saving Mr. Banks was fantastic, and she runs the gamut from beginning to end. And it really was a sweet movie, and it was well written for the movie that it was meant to be, and it showed a little slice of movie magic history. So a big snub on that. Yeah, I agree.
I think it was not only a snub for her, but it was a snub for a screenplay, because I thought it was a well crafted screenplay.
Yeah.
Screenplay movie, I completely agree. It was really missing from this list for me, and in replace of it, we got a ton of American Hustle.
And Lone Survivor, that was not. For me, they deserve to be in contention with a lot of these, not necessarily, but a lot of people feel that it got snubbed. What's interesting to me is that all these movies come out so recently. So forget we talked about way back. That was a cute movie.
Sam Rockwell complete again. You could take out Jonah Hill and put in Sam Rockwell. My feelings on this, and I could be completely off. There's no way that Fox or Fox Searchlight or the studio that put it out can continue to monetize on way back. The movie's out on Blu-ray already. It's not like they can re-release it in the theaters to get more money in. But we talked about the way back. It's a great movie. Sam Rockwell was fantastic. I don't know if I want to call it a snub. I don't even think he was ever considered. I think it was a bummer for me.
And personally, The World's End was kind of snubbed for me.
Yeah.
But that rounds out 2013.
But we didn't talk about Robert Redford. I mean, Sundance is going on, and he was. People are saying that he was.
And Tom Hanks.
And Tom Hanks. And again, I mean, I know that he had 2 movies out, and we can talk about personally, I felt in Saving Mr. Banks, I thought he was fantastic, and I thought that was the movie to be nominated for, but I think it was a snub. I also think that American Hustle, hear me out on this, not getting in hair and makeup. Come on, that toupee is a character within itself, and how it misses out on hair and makeup.
Come on.
Out of all the other, they were like, all right.
Ranger! What? He's got a crow on his head in hair and makeup. That's it. Come on. I don't know what they were thinking.
I'm definitely on the same page, at least for the Tom Hanks part.
Just make sure to speak louder into your mic.
I'm sorry, we're sharing a mic. Blah.
All right, well, any last thoughts of Oscars 2014?
Any other snubs or surprises?
Should we put money on this? No.
So we're going to do squares.
Was Catching Fire, the Hunger Games, nominated for a lot of different things? Nope. I mean, granted that is more of a young adult movie, but I'm surprised not for sound editing or anything like that.
No, it's really interesting that what do we have for sound editing? We had All Is Lost, Captain Phillips, Gravity, The Hobbit, and Lone Survivor.
Yeah, I feel like Hobbit's going to win a lot of the ancillary.
It could. I'm not sure if it'll take it over Gravity. Here's a big snub, though. Another snub when you talk about special effects, sound editing. It was my very first podcast with you folks in the Pacific Rim. I mean, how people just forgot about. I mean, the special effects were great. The sound editing was great. I mean, it didn't get any of those technical nods that you would have thought it should, or that it deserves.
Or how about
short attention?
How about Rush?
Rush.
There was great performances from the actors in that one, and they didn't get nominated either.
Yeah.
That's a snub for me as well.
Daniel Baruch, amazing.
Hans Zimmer, I think, got snubbed big time, too, when we talk about something like score. I mean, he had 2 very he had more than 2 scores this summer alone, and 2 of which, Rush, we talked about, and how different Man of Steel was. So,
yes. All right, well, that wraps up our Oscars show. We'll kind of do something special after the Oscars have, been awarded. So stay tuned for that. And, of course, keep going to movies. Keep listening to Anatomy of a Movie.
Bye, folks.